My name is Hannah Martin, and I'm a ceramic artist based out of the Western Slope. I also play with watercolors and gouache paints, but it's mostly ceramics. I grew up watching Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, lots of anime, lots of cartoons. And I got really absorbed in the practical effects of it all, of the fact that the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are real and somebody took the time to sculpt that T-Rex. Those are really inspiring. Now it's my garden, it's my cats, it's my interactions with my friends and my family. It's the use of language. I get really wrapped up in how words have transformed into what they are now, and puns, and how you can get a lot of really cool imagery out of puns, and how that affects pop culture and just normal everyday conversations. The work I create now plays more with pop culture and my experiences and things that make me smile mostly. The work that I create is almost never some big opinion about the world. It's usually just something kind of small that I found joy in, and that others find joy in too, because that seems to be what the world needs a little more of right now. So that's what I like to make work about. It's something that I wish more younger artists, or at least that I knew when I was getting started and going to art school, that when you go through art school and you start making art and you're surrounded by teachers all of the time, the idea kind of gets drilled in your head, whether it's intentionally or not, that what you're making right now is what you'll make forever. But then when you look at artists' actual body of work, what some ceramic artists started making in undergrad is vastly different than what they made in graduate school. And then that everything that you make as a young artist isn't what you're making forever. There's no such thing as I'm gonna find my style and this is my style forever. It's, no, your style is always evolving. And the sooner you get comfortable with that and the fact that it's always gonna change, the happier you'll be as an artist. When I'm working on things, especially with ceramics and these teapots, I tend to sketch everything out first. Or I'll just do a rough little thumbnail of the drawing that's going to go on the teapot or the cup or whatever. I'll sketch the form of the teapot or the cup so I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to make when I throw it. And then I'll just sit down and throw as much as I can, and then I'll scroll through my references or my sketchbooks and decide which drawing is going to go on which teapot, or if I have a commission that I have sketched out, which one is going to fit this cup better. The most rewarding aspect of creating for me is seeing the whole process, watching a little ball of clay turn into a cylinder of some kind, and then turn into a cup or a teapot, and then watching that surface get covered in color or whatever design I want to put it on, or be left completely blank. And then watching the science of what happens when it goes into a kiln for bisque fire and seeing if did I make a mistake? Is it gonna crack? Did I put it in there too early? Was it too wet when I put it in there? Is it gonna explode? It's all the little unknowns and how much it changes throughout the process. I think ceramics is really cool because you can take a ball of clay and then by the time you're done with it, sticking it in a magic box full of heat and chemistry, it's something really shiny and that lasts a really long time. So that's the most rewarding. It's just the process of it. If I could make art and just focus on the process of it, I would be the happiest artist. I hope it brings them some kind of joy. I hope it makes you smile, and I hope my artwork makes people laugh. That's what I hope it brings to the world, because that's very important to me. And whether it is a mug that has a silly little pun on it, or something along the gallows humor of some of the designs I have of coffee before coffins or that kind of thing. As long as it brought you some kind of joy, that's what I'm hoping for. And if it doesn't bring you joy, I hope it makes you think. So some of the programs that I offered was Intro to Clay Surface Design, where I taught teens and adults 2 different ceramic techniques of Mishima and Sgraffito. We decorated a bunch of bowls. I need to count them, but we have at least 50 of them for the Empty Bowl project here in town, which is a project that goes to feeding the homeless, and then you get a ceramic bowl out of it. The other program that I taught is I taught a bunch of little kids how to make pinch pots. Teaching adults was super fun, teaching kids was super fun. And it was the same, like the same techniques for both age groups. The most fun part about teaching the kids was how excited they would be, and watching like certain teaching philosophies and like certain rules in psychology about like human growth and development like actually play out in front of you. Where you would teach a group of 7 10-year-olds, for example, and you teach them how to make a pinch pot. And that by the end of that hour, there's not a single pinch pot standing. Like they've turned into pizzas, they've turned into unicorns, they've turned into cats. One little boy made a mouse house and it was really cute. And then you take that same demo, that same technique, because I got the opportunity to teach at Kids Club, which was really, really fun. You take that same exact technique and you apply it to 25 to 35 kids. And because of things like groupthink and follow the leader, there's a pinch pot standing at the end of the hour. There's at least 35 pinch pots standing. Like every single kid made one, and nobody made a pizza because they wanted to follow the person next to them and fit in. And it was really interesting and fun to watch. One of the best parts about the residency was the meet and greets. What ended up happening is you would get people walking through the door that were generally interested in what you were doing. Like the best interaction I've had, that's the most memorable outside of the days where the library staff invaded, and it was really fun. And I kind of bullied them all into decorating some bowls for Empty Bowl. But I had this mom and daughter walk in, and they told me the whole story where they walked into the library that day, saw my artist in residence display in the East hallway. The daughter decided that she really liked how I drew cats. They read the poster that's also on the display, realized it was Meet and Greets Tuesday, and they were there at the right time, and then walked from the library over into the 970 West studio into the meet and greet, into the artist in residence space, and just stopped and had like a really fun conversation where she was like, I like how you draw cats, and like wanted to buy prints from me. She was like a really smart little girl, and she was asking really cool questions and like asking about like every piece of artwork that I had hanging on the wall in here, and having a lot of fun. And then I fast forward to like 3 weeks later, I saw her again, and she comes up to me and she's like, you're the lady that paints cats. And I went, yes, I am the lady that paints cats. And she's like, I have drawings I want to show you. Into which she pulls out 3 drawings of her cats and explains them all in great detail. And is like so proud and so happy to show me these drawings of these cats that I'm like, you're making my heart melt. It was super cute. So my plans to keep creating is first move my studio back into my house. And then after that, I am gonna stay in touch with the ceramics community here in Grand Junction a little bit better. But I'm getting ready for the Mesa County Libraries Comic-Con. I am a vendor there, so I have a lot of nerdy mugs and cups and bowls and teapots and stuff that I need to finish up before then, and I'm really excited about them. And then after that, I'm gonna be making, or alongside of that, I'm gonna take some of the best pieces of that and photograph them and start building my portfolio so I can start applying to graduate school, so I can get my master's and teach at the collegiate level, which will be really cool.